All right. Hi, everybody. This is Sharon from the Department of Libraries. We're here to talk about the Classical Connections Grant. On the screen, you will see, if you're watching the recording, you will see the link to the website. It's linked right off of the Children and Teens page on our new website. If you haven't seen our new website, you should check it out. And the grant application is due on May 15th. And all the information is right there online, but today we're going to talk a little bit about the grant and some of the questions that people have about how it works. So with us today is Heidi Hustis and Cheryl Sloan from Charlotte, and they are the masterminds behind this program. So they're going to talk a little bit about what they've done and how that can help you. So welcome. Thank you for joining us. So why don't you guys tell us a little bit about the grant and what got you started?
Well, let's see, 4 or 5 years ago now, we had a local patron of the public library approach the library director and with an offer of financial support for a program if we could get middle schoolers involved. And he really felt very strongly that he wanted them to have some sort of exposure to the classics. So he just wanted us to try to, put something together to try to draw middle schoolers into the library. And he just wanted to really nurture the love of good books and foster those connections between modern day literature and the classics. And then, what did we do next?
Well, our first program was The Lightning Thief with mythology. And that seemed to be a popular one with the kids, and they signed on, and it's been history since then.
Mm-hmm. Yep. One of the things, we do this as a summer program. We're hoping to have people do a little brainstorming and think about how they could take this kind of seed of an idea and make it work no matter what the time of year it is. It's been really successful for us here during the summer because we got our middle school language arts teachers involved here at the school. And they very graciously offered it as an option for students to complete their summer reading requirements. So basically, if the kids sign up for the program, attend it, keep up with the readings, do the activities, and just are really great participants, then they get full credit for their summer reading.
And how did you make that happen? It seems like magic.
Well, I think that Margaret Woodruff came and she contacted myself and also the middle school teachers, and she just it was as simple as that reach out. She just said, hey, we have this very, very beginning little thought of an idea, and we're wondering if we could get support from the school to really make it work and to get the kids to get the draw. And really that carrot of completing the summer reading requirement has been really major in our attendance, I think. And now that the program is not in its infancy any longer, word of mouth has definitely spread. Parents love it. Mm-hmm. And so we were just talking to a parent actually earlier today that said, oh, as soon as it's advertised, I'm in there. I'm signing my kid up.
That's awesome.
One thing that Heidi and I really focus on is we try to make it really fun. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty fast-paced. The kids are up and they're busy, and we feed them really great snacks. And I think that combined, because they had to do a lot of reading that week. So, we try to make the time with us to be a lot of fun. And kids really remember that, and that's what a lot of the feedback we get is just, really how much fun it was.
Wow. And is there a writing component too?
There is a writing component. The very first year, and the reason we have the writing component really is because it kind of works as an assessment tool for me as the school librarian to be able to bring back to the language arts teachers and say, okay, look, not only did they read and participate in the discussion and the activities, but here are some really thoughtful responses that they have to the books that we've read this week. So it's a record.
I'm in the middle of a webinar, but interrupt me anyway.
And they use it as an assessment tool. We actually use the Young Writers Project just because the students are already familiar with that platform. They use it here at school. However, you can use anything, Blogger, anything.
Okay.
We don't want to scare people thinking that they have to have a writing component.
Right.
If they want to just have the kids read and discuss it, then that's great too.
Right. We just as an example, we just yesterday completed, we had a little 6-week kind of cabin fever lunch bunch book group. And we did one of the classic pairings in that, the Wednesday Wars and Shakespeare stories. And the kids, in that case, the kids just came, they brought their lunch. We, of course, provided awesome desserts. And they just got to read and talk about the book. And I think they really enjoyed coming and having it be an unscripted event. It was a voluntary thing for them.
So it didn't have anything to do with classroom assignments. They didn't get credit for it or anything?
No, there was no writing. It was just, read the book. If they came in and they, had fallen behind, we didn't make it a big deal.
Right.
Cool. It was just a fun time for them to get together.
And by the end, they had pretty much finished it. And even the ones that were came in and yesterday and the last day and said, oh, I only have like 3 pages left. I was so excited to finish it. And the other thing that I really wanted to share about that is a noticing that Cheryl and I had about kind of the makeup of the group of kids that we had. They were really enjoying spending that time together, and they probably would not gravitate towards one another in the cafeteria or the playground, but they made connections with one another around the table.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. It was exciting to see.
And how did you recruit kids for that? Did you have to, or did they just come to you?
Well, we put something in the newsletter. I actually had personal conversations with the teachers, too. I said, hey, we've got this thing going on. Especially if you know any kids that you think would really enjoy it, please tell them about it.
And we intentionally had it over the winter, obviously, so, the option was either go outside or come and read with us.
Oh, that's true.
I went through to have this happen.
It was a warm option. Got it. So what do you guys have planned for the summer?
This summer we're going to do Treasure Island, and we are going to pair it with the Great Wide Sea. And so far we have, we're going to get a kit from the Lake Champlain Maritime Museum that has a lot of nautical information in it about the sinking of a ship on Lake Champlain. I think it was either the Philadelphia or the Phoenix. I can't remember which one. And we're going to do some sailing with the Burlington Sailing Center. And we are going to, let's see, we're hoping to find somebody who's done a lot of sailing to come in and talk to the kids.
Fun.
And I'm sure that, there's plenty of lake history that we'll be able to draw on for that program. It's obviously still in the planning stage, but I don't think it's going to be a tough one to plan plans around.
Okay. So a lot of people have been asking me about the money and what the money should be used for. So what are you using, what are you spending money on, do you think, for for your programs?
Well, we obviously the books.
And you give those away to the kids, right?
Yeah, we're fortunate. We get enough money that we can just buy the books and then, let the children keep them at the end, which they enjoy. We are big food people, so we feed them well.
Excellent. What kinds of things work well for you guys? Chocolate?
Oh, anything that relates to the book is awesome because you can trick them into thinking about the themes that way. Like cream puffs, for example, with the Wednesday Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they're always theme-related snacks. We think really hard about that.
Are you going to feed them like gruel and like tack?
Right.
Biscuits?
Yeah, hard tack. Fish.
This one might be a little more of a struggle
this one is going to be
for us.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
No beer and dried fish.
Well, when we did JIP, we were able to do a lot of Vermont foods, which was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that is fun.
Yeah, apples and pies and that type of thing. That was another easy one to plan food around. We have used an artist in the past, a visiting artist, and sometimes we pay them to help out.
Okay.
But
Field trips.
Yeah, field trips.
If we, like when we did the JIP story, we took a field trip to our local Rokeby Museum, which is, it was a stop along the Underground Railroad, so there was some cost to that. Not a lot, but a little bit. And one of the things that I like about the program, I think it can work no matter where you are in the state. It's just a matter of thinking of what your local resources are and just reaching out to them and, seeing if you can incorporate those into what you're doing with the kids.
Fabulous. So one advantage you guys have is that you work really closely together. How do you think it would be different if it was just run through the public library?
Well, I think the public librarian would still have to be in contact with the school in some way. Either talking to the administration or the teachers or just getting an idea of, can they come into the school and do a presentation or that type of thing, just to get the kids excited.
And advertising, that the kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure most schools have a weekly newsletter, so that's definitely a good place to start.
And a lot of librarians go in and talk about summer reading anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah. And I would make the push, though, for making those connections between the public and the school libraries, because I think we should be working together. We're all serving the same kids. So the more connections that we can make and kind of, not only spread out the work, but I think it's great for the kids to see those connections because they're the ones that are going to grow up to use the public library. Right. That's my little plug. If the connections don't exist, try to make it so.
So if you're running a program over the summer, do you think as a school librarian, is it hard to find the time to help out with a program like that?
I think that it might depend on the timing of the programming. For me, for us anyway, one of the things we know about our family population is that, once you get into July, people are they're gone. Or the kids have already been signed up for this summer camp or that summer camp. So we tend to do it the first week that school gets out. And so for me, it's kind of like it's an easy bridge.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So one of the things I also noticed is that the pairings that you worked with have been previous DCF nominees. Do you do that on purpose, or is it just a coincidence?
Oh.
Not at all. These are just kind of choosing some of our favorite books.
Wow.
It's just good books, Sharon.
Wow. Well, it's actually handy because one of the things I want people to remember is that we have discussion kits for a lot of the DCF nominees, and so we do have multiple copies for a lot of these books because they were DCF nominees. So if people are looking for new ideas, a good place to start will be some of those book kits, because that way you wouldn't have to buy them all, and you can at least borrow some of the books, because working from 2 books for each kid could be kind of cost prohibitive.
Yeah, it does.
Right.
Even with paperbacks, it gets expensive.
Yes.
One other thing I want to mention, Sharon, is that people that apply for the grants certainly don't need to use our pairings either.
Right.
I mean, if they've got some great ideas, we would love to hear about it, and we'd love to read about it in the grants, because I'm hearing some really good ideas when I'm out doing a presentation that the summer reading program workshops.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to read these applications, and I think it would be wonderful to have some fresh new ideas. I think we could all learn from each other. But I'm in the middle of trying to put together kind of a database of where all the book club kits are in the state. It's a little tricky because they're all over the place. But do ask around, and the Vermont Department of Libraries has book club kits that you can check out, and then the Humanities Council also has kits, especially of classics. So if you're interested in that, you might as well give them a call and see if they can help you get a few copies so that you don't have to buy them all. But you might want to use different versions. So why don't you guys talk a little bit about the versions of the books you've been using? Because some of those classics are hefty.
Oh, right. So we use graphic novel adaptations, and we do that for 2 reasons. A, you're right, the originals are pretty hefty, and B, we're trying to do this in a week, and we're already asking them to read an entire novel. Okay. So I think, and that has been, I think it's worked out wonderfully. We found a series that we like a lot, the Campfire Classics, because there are some series that have been put out on the classics that aren't, necessarily what I would consider well done. But I like the Campfire Classics, and the thing about them is there's always something in the very beginning of the book that also gives you background information about the classic story, about the author. And it's a jumping off point, and really it's the connections between the themes in both books that we're really looking for the kids to make, so that comes across just fine.
Great.
With the graphic adaptations. And, middle schoolers like graphic novels. So, I mean, I think we've got to think about how to reach them where they're at.
Fantastic. Have you found that kids are looking for other classics in that format in your library?
Here, definitely. I bought quite a few of that series, and they go out pretty consistently. And we have had a couple over the years that have been interested in reading the actual classic afterwards.
That's wonderful.
I mean, we think if nothing else, they're familiar with the title, they're familiar with the author of the classics, and if they have to read it in high school, it's going to be that much easier because, they already know the plot.
That's so true.
Yeah, they'll definitely revisit them.
Yeah.
But even when we're talking to the kids, the title of different classics are coming up, so it's kind of neat to see what the kids are already exposed to. I know in our public library we have a lot of graphic novels of mythology books, and those are out all the time. Greek mythology.
Fabulous. So it could be a good way to encourage your kids to explore and to read more.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
So what kinds of kids do you usually get? Do you get those high-achieving reader kids, or do you ever get reluctant readers in your groups?
So we get, that's a great question. We get, I would say, a good mixture of both. We get the kids that start out the first day saying, oh, I'm just here because my mom made me. I want to get my summer reading done. And then we have those kiddos that are just readers and will devour anything and might already tend to spend time at the library anyway. And then we have the in-betweeners too. But usually by the time we get to the exit cards, I am always shocked and amazed at the things that they're putting down there that they've taken away from the week and that they're excited about. And, you know, when you hear an 8th grade boy say to another 8th grade boy, oh, yeah, that class, I took that last summer. That was really fun. That was actually kind of fun. I mean, that's golden.
That's impressive. So
Yeah, we get a lot of feedback from parents, just what their kids are talking about that week, and they're definitely enjoying it.
that's awesome. So, and then what grade range do you guys usually work with? Is it fifth grade?
In the summer, we are working with incoming 7th graders and incoming 8th graders.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, we are limited by space because our public library is not that large, which is where we hold the program. And so that's the age group that we work with. But when we did our cabin fever one, just the past few weeks, we just had 5th graders sign up.
And we did it right here in the school library.
Yeah, and so that was kind of fun too.
Oh, and was it significantly different, or were the kids really into it?
They were. We advertised it for the 7th and 8th graders, and we didn't have many takers.
Right.
So we opened it up, and it just happened to be 5th graders who signed up. So, the subject matter of Wednesday Awards is a little heavy, but they did, we told them the first day that, we realized it was pretty intense material, but, they were mature enough, they could handle it, and they did a great job.
Fantastic.
There's a lot of tools out there, too, that I feel like help us out with kind of sharing some of those heavier type topics.
Mm-hmm.
Like, thank God for YouTube, number one, and other things like Schmoop, especially for the 7th and 8th graders. Kind of like it just gives little synopses, really, of major themes, and it's done in a, funny kind of way, an engaging way for middle schoolers. Cheryl and I definitely don't bear all the load of, just listen to us talk at you, because that would be absolute failure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you guys do like a little writing component, and then you do some sort of creative project, right?
Yes.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah,
for our summer program, we do something creative every day.
Yeah. So it could be it could be an activity like we love doing podcasts with them, and that's pretty easy to do if you have something like Audacity, which is free voice recording, and the kids really enjoy that activity. That has been a popular activity every year. There's always an art component of some sort, too. So in some years it's been working with a visiting artist to think about the major symbols in each of the books and then coming up with a T-shirt design. Last year we did altered books, which was really fun. So there's always some sort of, art product.
Fabulous. All right. Amy and Kelsey, do you guys have any questions?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm going to pull up the grant application and just go through it really quickly. You guys probably won't be able to see it, but those of you watching the recording can. The application is on the website, and it's long. Grant applications can be a little daunting, and so I just want to make sure that there's nothing in there that's really crazy. I don't think there is. It's up to $500. If you don't have a $500 budget, that's totally fine. there's a place in here to look at your expenses. The grant period is July 1st to December 31st, and we're hoping to announce the recipients by the end of May. I'm really going to push for that. You absolutely don't have to use it in the summertime. You could definitely do it in the fall if you'd like. And then if you go down into the guidelines, let's see, you have to be complete. The program is for grades 5 to 8, but like we talked about, you can split that up any way that you like with older or younger kids. But that middle school group is really what we're looking at. We're strongly encouraging you to work with your school or your school library. You know that's not possible in every town, but if you just make an effort, see what happens, and maybe we'll be surprised. We'd love to hear stories about that. Let's see. You are all the grant funds is all that. This is encouraging people to pick up. To use copies of, to use titles from the DCF lists, and to do a little bit of research, see what you can get, you can borrow, rather than having to spend all of your money on books. And then you're going to have to put together a report. It's due March 1st. It's not too bad. We just want to hear what you spent your money with. Of course, you're going to submit your receipts, and then we need to know how it went. So things like those exit cards that we talked about, asking the kids how it went, maybe doing a little question and answer with the parents. Let us know, what you might do differently in the future, things like that. So if you keep going through, you'll see each page is just extra stuff. There's an application, the address. So you'll have to put together all of your information. And then you're going to choose a project. And this is where it says you can choose the Shakespeare and the Wednesday Wars, and then or the Lightning Thief and Mythology, or Oliver Twist and Jip, Leviathan and the Time Machine, or you can do the Great White Sea and Treasure Island that they're still working on, or you can do something else. And I really, really want to encourage you guys to think about that because we're very open to new ideas. And then there's a project description piece. There are materials on the website that you can take a look at for inspiration, but try to outline what kinds of activities you would like to do with the kids, whether you want to do a field trip, whether you want to have speakers, and how you're going to recruit people. Are you going to go into the schools? Are you going to do some sort of marketing? We want to know that you thought about this. So there's a blank page there for you. And then this new project design piece is if you are trying to do something that hasn't been done before, which I really hope you will. You're just going to add some information about which books you're going to use and why you chose them. Just in case people reading the applications aren't familiar with the titles, try to give them some background information of like why you think those two books go together. And then there's a blank page for that. And then there's the budget. And I don't know about you, but grant budgets freak me out. Try not to be overwhelmed by this. All you need to do is take a look at what you're going to be paying for what, and then if the library is going to offer any matching funds. And all that means, it's not required, but all that means is the library able to put money in to support you? If they can't, that's totally fine, but if possible, it would be wonderful to just show. You can show your trustees and your library director, hey, look, the library put some effort into this as well. And it could be things that you already have or things that you add to your collection, like DVDs, audiobooks, things like that. And then there is one piece that the foundation added. Food costs aren't supposed to exceed 10% of the total grant, so that's $50, which is, pretty hefty amount. We just don't want all, $250 worth of snacks to end up on your budget. Not that you would ever do that. And so take a look at all of these pieces, and then you're going to need signatures from your library director. One thing to to realize is that this application is used for every grant that the Library Foundation gives, so that's why they look very daunting and big and official. But you'll need a signature from your library director, obviously, and then that's it. You mail the whole thing to the foundation by May 15th, and we'll take it from there. So there is some writing that's required, and then a little bit of budgeting to think about. But those are things that you're going to think about anyway, so you might as well take a look at it. And Heidi and Cheryl have promised some notes on their Treasure Island project as they get closer. So hopefully we'll have some ideas for you then. But I know you guys are already full of ideas, so we just want to hear what you're dreaming up. Is there anything else that we missed?
Sharon, if you could, we are also going to be presenting at the DCF conference.
Yes, you are.
If you have more questions or just want to know more about how we do what we do, please join us.
Yeah, that's going to be wonderful. I actually just confirmed with the hotel today. So we've got you set up in a room, and I'm hoping that lots of school librarians will be there, and we'll get them excited about it. So hopefully we'll have excitement on both sides of the aisle. All right, is there anything else that we've forgotten? No?
I just have a question. Can you, the materials that you get from this grant from more than one, like, can you tie it in with more than one program? Because we were thinking about doing it as a summer program and then again as a fall program, because we have a lot of kids that are only here in the summer, you know, campers and whatnot. And then we were thinking about doing it with the adult book group too.
Ooh.
I like that idea.
We have a really good, like, adult crew that comes in you know, monthly for our book group, and I just thought that it would be nice to include them with it.
Maybe get more mileage out of the program.
I think that the like basic material piece, Mr. Kroll is pretty specific. He wants it for middle school. But one of the things you can do is once you develop the program, you can use it again, you know, for free because you did all the work.
Right. Well, I just didn't know if we should, like, include that in with what you're writing for your grant.
I think you should include it just because it's cool. It's an awesome idea, and we want to hear about your awesome ideas.
Yeah, I think the more, I feel like these are little seeds, and the more they spread and is awesome, and I just am so looking forward to seeing everybody's unique take on the basic idea, because classics are for adults too. You know, I do know that part of Alex's backstory is that he, when he was a middle schooler, he had an accident and he was laid up for a little while, and that's when he discovered the classics, when he was that age. So I know that's his push for, you know, wanting the grant to be targeted at middle schoolers.
That's wonderful. I do love the idea of taking these little seeds of ideas and pushing them into other areas, because as librarians we do serve everybody. So I think it's a great idea, and maybe there's even a way to turn it into a younger children's program too. You know, do something. I don't know. I can't wait to hear about all these ideas. It's going to be great. All right, so I am going to switch my screen back over to the website. Here is the page that you can go to for all of our all the grant information. All of the planning guides are down here. The grant application's right here, and it's due on May 15th. And everything needs to be mailed to the Library Foundation, not to me, the foundation. The application has all the address and everything you need there. And if you need anything, please let me know. I am happy to answer questions. And I can direct you to somebody else if I don't know the answer. I'm putting my email address right here. Email is the best way to get a hold of me. And I'm happy to field any questions or help you brainstorm if you need any help, or to help you find book kits if you need book kits for your programs, or if you have any other brilliant ideas. We want to hear about those too. So I hope to see a lot of you at DCF. If not, I hope to see a lot of you guys at some of my CE programs. And I think that's all we have for you. Is that it?
I think so.
Thanks a lot, Sharon.
Thank you so much for your time.